Hello folks, welcome to my video. I am your host, the J-Man, and today I've got two comic book reviews for you. So, back to back, we've got Thundercats, the source book, and issue number 0, both from Wildstorm 2002, the official relaunch of Thundercats. Okay, let's start out with the source book here. As you can see, very colorful cover. It was drawn by Arthur Adams. What can I say about this? The cover for this, even though it's really pretty and I like the way it's laid out, all the characters kind of fit in there, sort of like a puzzle piece. It's very standard issue. It doesn't have a whole lot of style to it. Unfortunately, it's kind of like everything you've ever seen before in a comic book, which, you know, it's both good and bad. But compared to something like this, so the cover of this one is much more artistic, a lot more style and expression, and the faces, you know, it's just a lot better because from the viewpoints and the perspective that the artist uses, it all fits together much nicer and makes for something really unique. So I like the cover much better on this one, but still not a bad cover. So the source book, let's get into it. Pretty decent size for a source book. $3 issue. This is a $2.50 issue because it is very small and not even really a story. But the source book gives you the 411 on all the characters and some other stuff surrounding the Thundercats universe. All of it taken directly from the cartoon in the Warner Brothers franchise now, which is actually, I think, was it copyrighted by Lorimar? I'm not exactly sure anymore, but yeah, Warner Brothers has the copyright now. They tried to do a Thundercats movie CGI, but that wasn't put into action because of the epic failure that was Speed Racer, the movie. Had Speed Racer been a success, I think Thundercats would have been the follow-up. But who knows, maybe someday a Thundercats CGI movie will be produced. But we also look forward to a new cartoon series for the Thundercats coming to Cartoon Network. But before or beside that, I just want to talk about the source book here, which is a very valid source of information and a piece of Thundercats history, detailing a lot of the myths and fiction behind the Thundercats. Not only does it talk about the Thundercat characters themselves, but you have your main villain Mumra, of course, and the mutants, Monkey-In, Vulture-Man, Slide, Jackalman. But you also get some of the reoccurring characters from the show that were a lot less popular, like Rotaro here, who showed up for a couple episodes and became the leader of the mutants. And let's see, there's actually a good bit of knowledge in this book that you wouldn't necessarily remember or know unless you are a hardcore fan. So getting back into reading the Thundercats, you definitely want to give this a look and a read through. Here's another character, Mandora. She showed up in season 1, a couple episodes. I think she was voiced by the same person that did Chitara. Very familiar voice, but the character is pretty one-dimensional. But here we have a beautiful drawing of Mandora and a rundown of her character. She was basically a space pirate. But yeah, I think it was really cool that Wildstorm wanted to integrate all of this into the relaunch of the Thundercats. Here we have a beautiful introduction page. Even Jaga is shown here, which Jaga showed up usually at the end of an episode to give words of advice, but he wasn't a very much of a mainstay character, and the book doesn't really even say anything about Jaga, unfortunately. But it's good to see him here, that they haven't left him out. I really, really love this picture right here. I think this is the best piece of the whole book. Various artists worked on this. You'll see a lot of different styles. As you can tell here, the style is drastically different. You know, it's good information without being overkill or, you know, redundant. He even talks about the Thunder tank and the mutants vehicle of choice, which is let's see here, what's it called? The Fist Pounder has this drawing, and it explains both of them, the Fist Pounder and the Thunder tank. Really cool. But yeah, some of the artwork is cheesy and plain. Other pieces are really good. Like, I like this one a lot with Chitara here. Now, why is something like this better than, say, this right here? Well, in my opinion, this is kind of plain. Even though the colors are very nice, it's not very expressive, and it doesn't really flow. It's all like, you know, quickly sketched. Whereas this here shows a lot of thought and imagination because of the camera angle and perspective and facial expressions, special effects, things like that make the picture much better. This is a good book, so I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 stars. 4 out of 5 stars for Thundercats source book. Thundercats issue 0. Like I said before, written by Ford Lotto Gilmore and J. Scott Campbell. They both worked on it and did some of the drawing and coloring. Actually, the coloring was done by a studio, and the lettering and the digital inks were done by someone else. But the writing and the pencil drawings were both done by Ford Lotto Gilmore and J. Scott Campbell. Really, really nice opening. I love the way they presented the logo, incorporated it into the title. And then we have this, which is such a classic frame screen of Thundercats. If you remember them, the cartoon was always using pretty much this exact same frame. Very iconic and reminiscent. I love the coloring. The coloring is absolutely gorgeous. The drawing too. Just for that alone, for that reason alone, I have to give this issue no less than a 3.5. But because the story is really, really short, and it's not even a story, it's more like just a few flashbacks, I can't give it more than a 4. How many pages do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 pages, then you get a little bit of a behind the scenes, the making of, and a preview of what's to come. They're talking about in 2 weeks they're going to follow this up with stories that take place directly after the cartoon and other stories that are much further down the road in continuity. And then we have some sketches and artwork by various artists, like this one here, which you can see too well with the glare, but I don't like that one very much. I think it's just weird. Facial expressions are off and uncharacteristic. And then you got this, which is actually pretty cool. You know, it's not the best, it's not the most accurate, but I like it. I particularly like how they did Lion-O in that one. Very strong, very powerful looking. And then, you know, preview of what's to come, like upcoming artwork for some other issue. Can't see that too well with the light. Let me fix that. Whoa, that's bright. Yeah, there you go. That's better. Oh, and they talk about how all of the artists and writers and people that are working on this were really heavily involved because they had a passion for Thundercats. They had a love. So this wasn't just another job for them. They really enjoyed doing Thundercats and wanted to make it as good as they could. And I think they did a wonderful job with this issue 0. Even though it was pretty short, it was mainly just an introduction issue. So I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5. So that's been my review for Thundercats Sourcebook and Issue 0. Both of them pretty rare, hard to find, and I got them off of Amazon.com. Thanks for watching my video. Please comment, and I'll see you next time.